Hello, everyone. Thank you for attending the Heart Matters, the Importance of Heart and Vascular Disease Prevention and Recovery session. My name is Dr. Thais Coutinho, and I am the chair of the Executive Steering Committee for the Canadian Women's Heart Health Alliance. While we're meeting here today on a virtual platform, we would like to take a moment to acknowledge the importance of the lands which we each call home. We do this to reaffirm our commitment and responsibility in improving relationships between nations and to improve our own understanding of the local Indigenous peoples and their cultures. From coast to coast to coast, we acknowledge the ancestral and unceded territory of all of the Inuit, Métis, and First Nations people that call this land home. Heart and vascular disease is the leading cause of hospitalization and premature death for women in Canada. Globally, cardiovascular disease affects 1 out of 3 women, and women everywhere are understudied, underdiagnosed, undertreated, and underaware when it comes to their heart and vascular health. Even their healthcare providers are also often underaware about the women's risk factors and the common signs and symptoms of heart disease in women. WearRedCanada is celebrated annually across Canada on February 13 to raise awareness about women's heart and vascular health. It is proudly hosted by the Canadian Women's Heart Health Alliance, which is powered by the Canadian Women's Heart Health Centre. Events are held online and across the country to serve as a reminder for all people, especially women, to be mindful, curious, and proactive in the management of our heart health and wellness. And now, I would like to introduce my colleague, Dr. Judy Liu, who is going to speak about this year's theme and our key messages. Dr. Liu.
Thank you, Dr. Coutinho. This year's Wear Red Canada theme is, to take care of others, you need to first take care of yourself. Start the conversation with the woman in your life. Hashtag Her Heart Matters. I'd like to now share with you our 5 key messages for this year's Wear Red Canada campaign. Number 1, heart disease is on the rise and is the leading cause of death for women worldwide. Number 2, heart attack symptoms are not recognized in over 50% of women. Number 3, the causes of heart disease can be different for women when compared to men. And number 4, women can be at greater risk for heart disease than men. And lastly, our final key message is, there's a lot that we can all do to help reduce the risk. Heart disease is largely preventable. These 5 key messages and other resources are available on our website in a variety of languages and will be highlighted in more detail throughout today's webinar. Here is my counterpart, Ms. Helen Robert, a woman with lived experience and an amazing advocate for women's heart health. Helen?
Thank you, Dr. Liu. This campaign couldn't happen without a team of more than 100 incredible volunteers working tirelessly to support our success. Our national team includes clinicians, scientists, and patient caregiver advocates on 4 regional planning committees across Canada. These volunteers have put in countless hours planning to bring this fantastic national event to us today. On behalf of the Canadian Women's Heart Health Alliance, we thank each of you for your collaboration, time, energy, and enthusiasm. To give you all an idea of just how much is going on today, we have proclamations recognizing February 13th as Wear Red Canada Day from cities and municipalities across the country. We have iconic landmarks from coast to coast lighting up red, from the Harbour Centre in Vancouver to the Halifax Seaport. Even Niagara Falls will be lit up in red. We have participants from coast to coast signed up for a virtual 5K event or 30 minutes of movement. A big thank you goes out to our sponsors for this event: Heart and Stroke Nova Scotia, Servier, the University of Ottawa Heart Institute Foundation, and Norris Ford Sales Limited. As part of the 2022 Wear Red Canada campaign, we've introduced the Heart of the Matter, a 60-minute lesson plan and educator toolkit developed specifically to reach younger audiences about the important issue of women's heart and vascular health. This program will spark conversation among students, staff, parents, guardians, and the broader community about women's heart health and raise the visibility of Wear Red Canada in our schools. Please visit our website for more information on this terrific opportunity. We do have a few housekeeping notes before we get started today. All participants have been muted, and video sharing capabilities have been turned off to minimize disruptions during the presentation. For sound, please ensure your speakers are turned on and up. If you're having sound issues, please test your audio by going to your audio settings. If you're having any technical issues at all, please let us know by using the chat function. Simply click the chat icon at the bottom of your Zoom window. If you have any questions for our speakers, please submit them at any time during the webinar using the Q&A button, also at the bottom of your Zoom window. There will not be a live Q&A at the end, so we will be answering questions throughout the webinar using the Q&A button. This webinar is being recorded. The recording will be available next week, along with all other webinar sessions brought to you today by our friends and colleagues across Canada on the WearRedCanada.ca website. And finally, a big thank you to all of you who are taking part in this 90-minute jam-packed coast-to-coast event. Now, let's get started by introducing our friends from the Rockies. In British Columbia, a big welcome to Rachel, Emily, and Miraz.
From Vancouver, British Columbia on the West Coast, we welcome you to our first session. We would like to begin by acknowledging that we and our guests are recording from the unceded and traditional lands of the Coast Salish, Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. We have two core themes today. First, engaging youth and knowing your numbers, and second, the importance of prevention by starting young and getting regular checkups. My name is Rachel, a graduate student in the UBC Medical Genetics Department studying diabetes. I am one of 3 West Coast youth moderators for today's session.
Hi everyone, my name is Miraz and I'm a second-year medical student at UBC with an interest in women's cardiovascular health. Today's topic relates to the national theme, to take care of others, you need to first take care of yourself. Start the conversation with the woman in your life.
And I'm Emily, a graduate student in the UBC Medical Genetics Department, studying sex differences in the relationship between mental health and heart health. For the next 20 minutes, you'll hear from Madison Mailey, a Canadian gold medalist from the 2020 Tokyo Olympics, Kiara Herrera, a high school student living with a heart condition, a youth gymnastics team, surgical physician Dr. Najah Adreak, and our patient partner, Miss Denise Johnston. With no further ado, here's Madison.
Hello, everyone. My name is Madison Mailey, and I am an athlete on the Canadian national rowing team. I got the opportunity to race at the Tokyo Olympic Games this summer, and I actually came home with a gold medal. Obviously, I'm here today because of going to the Olympics and winning, and how that happened was in 2019, I qualified the women's four for the Olympic Games. And then in 2020, the Olympics got canceled. And that was quite a sad day for me, because I remember getting that text message and them saying, you know, the Olympics is canceled and we don't know what's happening with the world. And please go home to wherever you're from and bring a bike and a treadmill and work out from home. It was a shocking, tough time. Our workouts changed to Zoom workouts and our team forged ahead. Then we got to come back together. That was wonderful for me. I missed my teammates so much. And we finally selected our boats after 6 months of a second round of selection, which was pretty exhausting. About 40 days to the Olympic Games, we were up at Strathcona Lodge, which is a beautiful area in BC, and we were on a team recovery ride. We had just posted our fastest time and we had a bike accident. Ended up with 3 of my teammates sprawled on the road, and I was reminded that our health is the most important thing. And my body and my mind are the reason that I am able to race and work out and be on a national team. We obviously overcame this injury with a spare, and Kasha, who fell off her bike, joined us in Tokyo, and we seat raced for the last seat 1 week before the games. It's pretty crazy when you watch our race in July. We you just see that 6 minutes and you don't see the years and years of preparation and hard work that go into it. But I know everyone that's listening to me right now has had a crazy last 2 years and has had to overcome a lot. And that's going to teach you something, and you are going to be stronger because of that. Sport has given me so much in my life. It has gotten me outside. It has gotten me to have such strong relationships with my teammates. It has allowed me to travel extensively around the world. And it has allowed me to 100% invest in my body, this machine that allows me to do what I want. And I got to where I am today from setting these small goals along the way and dealing with failure. There's a lot of failure that goes into success, and it teaches you so much. We only get one body and one heart, and that is why I'm here today and wearing red. There are so many things that you can do to prevent heart disease and heart issues and health issues in general. And two of them are things I am experts in, and that is eating healthy and staying active. I might have stayed a bit too active, but different for everyone. But I did have a family member that had 2 heart ablation surgeries and has had other heart issues. And it teaches you to never take things for granted, and that we are so lucky to be here and to have a community that supports us and is helping us get through hard times. So thank you so much for having me today. I hope that you have a wonderful rest of your 2022 and you set small goals for yourself that will allow you to be healthier, happier person. And my last question is, what can being fit and being healthy do for you? And my answer is that it can fully change your life. Thank you.
Thank you, Madison, for speaking to us about your journey in fitness and exercise. Now let's hear from Kiara about her experiences with a heart condition as a youth and how other youth can get more involved.
So hello, my name is Kiara Herrera. I am a grade 12 student from POCO. As you might look at me, I might not look like I have anything going on with me, but that is not the case at all. During the summer in grade 6, I found out that I have CPVT. So CPVT is also known as catecholaminergic polymorphic ventricular tachycardia, is a heart condition characterized by an abnormal heart rhythm. Basically, as the heart rate increases in a response to physical activity or emotional stress, it can trigger an abnormally fast heartbeat called ventricular tachycardia. Episodes of ventricular tachycardia can cause lightheadedness, dizziness, fainting. And in people with CPVT, these episodes typically begin in childhood. So I am lucky enough that I was one of the few people that had kind of 3 warning signs to be able to catch this and get the medication and stuff that I need. But the sad thing for some people is that if CPV is not recognized and treated, an episode of ventricular tachycardia may cause the heart to stop beating. So I could have also gone into cardiac arrest. So as someone who didn't have anybody else in the family who had any heart conditions or diseases, it was really scary to find out. But having my family kind of be there to support me, and even friends support me, I was able to meet a group of kids who are also kind of like me and who all have different heart conditions. So what can we do to help prevent this from happening to our loved ones? Well, first, start the conversation with the women or men in your life, or anyone for that matter. Second, it's important to be self-aware about your health. Although our risk may be lower at this stage of our life, your prevention plan can start now. As we saw with my story, I was only 11 years old. Lastly, advocate for women's heart and vascular health. Take part in Wear Red Canada to inform others of the risk and signs of heart disease. As we all know, knowledge is power and prevention is key. You can do your part by starting the conversation today.
Thank you, Kiara. It's so important for the next generation to be aware of heart health through hearing stories like yours. Now let's turn to the balanced competitive gymnastics team from West Vancouver to demonstrate the importance of making exercise fun at an early age.
Feels good to be here. Every time I breathe, everywhere I go, well, I always know that I'm always free. Feels good to be free. I can roll my feet. Everywhere I go, well, I always know that I'm always free. Well, I wake up each morning and know my truth, and I kind of like know when the sun comes through, and I don't have to pretend to be someone else. I can sing, I can dance, I can laugh and cry, but I only get one chance to live this life. I'm taking each day slow as it falls.
Great job, girls, for showing how fun it can be to be active. Also, big thank you to the club's owner, Julia, and head coach, Yereni, for supporting this important event. It's no secret that finding a healthcare provider is very challenging. So here to speak about tips to finding a center for primary care is Dr. Najah Adreak.
Thank you so much, Mahras, for the introduction. Hi, everyone. I'm here with you today to share some tips on how to get a primary care provider. So let's first start by definition. What do we mean by regular healthcare provider? A regular healthcare provider is defined as a health professional that persons see or talk to when they need care or advice about their health. This includes a family doctor, general practitioner, medical specialist, or nurse practitioner. Now I want to ask you to help me answer this question. How many of you have a regular healthcare provider? A, yes, I do have. B, no, I couldn't find one. C, no, I don't need one. Please type your answer in the chat box. Actually, this question has recently sparked a shocking conversation in Twitter when one of the nurse practitioners shared her experience and frustration of not getting a family doctor. She asked how many Canadians don't have a family doctor. Then she received a huge response from different cities in Canada mentioning they don't have any. For me, this wasn't surprising. In fact, since I moved here, it took me 4 years to get a family doctor who I become orphan again without her care when she decided to change her practice to start my journey to get another family physician. According to Static Canada report in 2017, almost 5 million Canadians don't have a family doctor, meaning 1 out of 7 Canadians don't have any regular healthcare provider. In BC, for example, professional data shows among British Columbians, there is nearly 70% of people in the province lacking access to family doctor or other primary care provider. So why this is a problem? What is the matter if someone doesn't have a regular healthcare provider? Let me explain to you how well health system actually working. There are 5 components of good health system. First step is access to care. So can you get the health service you need when you need them? Quality of care. How good is the care that you're receiving and is it safe? Spending. How much do the health service you use cost the system? Health outcome. Are Canadians actually getting healthier? And lastly, health promotion and disease prevention. How well is the system working to help you stay healthy and avoid getting sick? So where is our family doctors? For our population, we have only 132 family physicians per 100,000 Canadian. I think this doesn't need any math. The numbers speak for themselves. Fewer family physicians, more people without access to care. Canadians who don't have a healthcare professional they see or talk when they need a regular basis, they are less likely to engage in preventive health measures such as immunization or meeting guidelines for screening. Shortage in healthcare provider is a complex issue. Exploring it more here is out of scope of this talk. So now I would like to share with you some tips on how to find a family doctor. From my personal experience, there are so many ways. For example, in every province, there's a healthcare line that you can call, and connect you with healthcare service navigator who can provide you with information about finding a family doctor in your own community. Also, you can ask the Division of Family Practice. They offer a service to connect patients to family doctor, and you can check them online and connect with them. Another trick is you can tap on your own network. Ask your family or friends to introduce you to their own family doctor. Some doctors are more likely to get referred from their existing patient. And whenever you go for a walk-in clinic, ask them if they can take you as one of their own patients. And another important solution is the nurse practitioner-led clinic. Across many preferences, there are nurse practitioner-led clinic. They are highly qualified nurses who are able to provide you ongoing healthcare, education, illness prevention to anyone in need of healthcare. And you don't need a refer for them, and they are free of service in some provinces. They can diagnose and treat the common injury and give prescription and all the blood and diagnostic tests. And some of them actually, they're working within a family doctor team with other clinic. And also you can check online for directory for medical care. They can add your name there to connect with healthcare provider or look for available one. Healthcare Connect in Ontario is an example. Virtual telehealth. With COVID now, digital health become one of our new norms. Check online for virtual clinic and get access to care from the comfort from your own home. As a part of the solution to tackle family doctors shortage is the urgent and primary care center. Here in BC, we have many of them. They provide same-day, urgent, non-emergency healthcare visit, and they're open in evening, weekends, and in the holidays. And they can save you a visit to the emergency department when you need help. These are a few tips that I would love to share with you. It's not a costest list, but a solution that give you as a starting point in your journey. And you can share with us in the chat box any tips that you find it helpful, or if you have any other tips. I know from firsthand experience that the journey for searching for healthcare provider could be time and energy consuming, but I still want you to be your own advocate and take care of yourself to take care of others. Having said that, while you're trying searching for your next or first healthcare provider, I need you to keep your eyes on these important numbers. Those numbers are your blood sugar, your blood pressure, your cholesterol, and body weight. And you can get them checked regularly by visiting walk-in clinic, pharmacy, or drugstores. There's also free online score calculating that you can track your risk of heart disease and can give you some tips to modify them if you can.
Thank you, Dr. Adreak, for sharing these very helpful resources. Advocating for yourself really is key. Now, here are some helpful tips when speaking with your healthcare provider from our patient partner, Denise Johnston.
I was diagnosed about 10 years ago, and thankfully, with the good care of my healthcare providers and working together as a team, my heart disease symptoms are well managed. So today I'm happy to chat with you as a woman with lived experience about some tips for talking with your healthcare providers. It's important to prepare for your visit, to really think about, okay, what is my number one health concern right now? What is the most important thing I need to talk about? We know all our healthcare providers are super busy, especially during the pandemic, and they really want to help care for us, but they need us to be efficient with our time and be well prepared. So if you have a plan of what it is you really want to talk about and what's of most concern for you for this next appointment, that helps you and helps them. Also helps for them to have an updated list of all your medicines, because you might have other medicines you're taking besides your heart medicine, and it's really helpful to have a current, up-to-date list of your medications. The three main questions approach around getting ready to see your healthcare provider is, what's my main health problem? What's the most important thing I want to talk about today? Why do I need to do this? What's happening for me? What are my symptoms, or what's changed, or what's different? And why is this the important point? And the third is, why is this so important to me to do this? Because are your symptoms getting worse? Are they changing? Is your medication working really well and you're wondering about reducing it? There could be a variety of things that you want to talk about, but to really narrow down what you can do in your appointment that's going to help satisfy your needs and help your doctor give you what you need then these 3 tips of questions might help you get organized. Taking notes is really important because you're engaged in your conversation, and sometimes you don't remember because you're so in the moment with your doctor or your nurse practitioner, whoever you might be talking to. So I've created my own little heart health notebook, which I record when I do my blood pressure at home or there's a symptom. I record the date and a few notes. And I also use the tool we all usually have with us, our phones. And there's a notes page in the phone, and I just enter the notes in there, and then I can refer to it. I can print it off. I can share it with other doctors if I need to. So those are strategies that might be of help to you. So when you're getting ready to go talk to your healthcare provider, depending on whether this is your first visit or maybe you really haven't established a relationship with this person yet, you might want to bring someone with you. It can be a trusted friend or it can be a family member. Asking for definitions. This is your time to understand your own health situation. So don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask for clarification if they're using terminology or talking about an assessment or medication and you're not understanding. That's what they're there for, and they're happy to answer your questions. Recap, really important. Maybe you have an appointment that's 15, 20 minutes, maybe a bit longer if you're lucky, but it's important at the end to recap what you decided with your healthcare provider. What are you going to keep doing to care for yourself? What are you going to change? And maybe when are you going to see each other again and how long that needs to be, so that you either set up that appointment before you leave the office, or maybe you can follow up by email to the healthcare provider's assistant to get it scheduled. And that's part of the follow-up too, is really following up and with whatever has been decided between you and the healthcare provider. You really are a team together, working together to give you the best health possible.
Thank you, Denise, for telling us about your story. Thank you to all of our presenters for sharing your experiences and recommendations with us today.
On behalf of the West Coast, thank you for taking part in Wear Red Canada.
Now, let's jump over to our neighbors in the prairies for our next segment.